Alright guys, this is your boy Sept from Team Relinquish, and we're here today at Taste Gaming Satellite. We're trying to get some work done. This video has been long overdue, and for some time now I've been talking to the community with the introduction of Zoo since January, how the meta has transited from the 2-week DDD format that we had, which was Crystal Wing, Sig Free, D Barrier, which was crazy. And it just transitioned to meta flow. There's a lot of things that just happened. So this is basically a BANLIST discussion, pre-BANLIST discussion, where I actually like to see some things happen. I'm taking a poll out and asked several players, just not casual, but also competitive players, what would they like to see with the new link form mechanic that's being introduced. A few things here and there that I feel like changes here and there would make the game pretty much better. Apart from interruptions, a lot of people unexpectedly, while I'm making this video. So I pretty much put together what would I like to share with you guys. Would be, be interesting to see on this BANLIST. We'll probably see probably mid-September or early September. Leading up to what it says Toronto. So just want to give you guys a recap. Like, this BANLIST, as far in my opinion, is saying that will probably take a big impact like back in 2013, where you just saw D-rulers from TCGPlayer. If everyone remember the 2013 September BANLIST, 41 cards, the most in Yu-Gi-Oh history, got affected on that list. That's literally a deck plus one card. Minimum in a deck, and the main deck is 40 cards plus one. So that was intricate. That was an instrumental part of the game, and I felt like it took a turning point around that point. So I feel like this BANLIST, there might be some big changes and really affect the meta in a very good way. So for on the ban portion, this is compute. I'm talking from a majority standpoint, both casual and competitive players. And from what I've understood, have been brought to my attention, is there's two cards in particular that they would love to see go on the BANLIST. The one would be ZOODIAC BARRAGE, and the next one is ZOODIAC DRIDENT. Now, to elaborate a little bit more on those of you that are unfamiliar with ZOODIAC BARRAGE, it's a effect is you target one face-up card, even targeting itself, destroy it, and it's supposed to summon a ZOODIAC monster from the deck. Also, if this card would be destroyed by a card effect, you can target a ZOODIAC EXCITON monster and put it under his EXCITON material. The mechanic of this card being a 3, even the meta as it stands right now, is redundant, it's degenerate. And if people know the game of Yu-Gi-Oh, the more degenerate the card is, the more you can exploit it. You have to play it. It's just that simple. If you're not playing it, you're playing it to lose. You might as well not try the wacky ideas. You're not going to get far, because the idea is to play to win. So from a competitive standpoint, this card really is, even with the true Draco mixture with it, this card gives players an extra turn. Let's take away from the Shuffle Reborn and the Soul Charge, but ZOODIAC BARRAGE really fixes a lot of hands. It's really good, especially like the BROADBULL combo, where you can just summon BROADBULL, have a card, put the card in your deck, it will keep it, and then activate Barrage Pop, and you get literally a +3. 2 copies of BROADBULL, fix your hand plus a ZOODIAC monster. Or if it's a Thoroughblade, that's a +4. So off of one card alone, the plays are endless. And to actually go off, make an Exceed play, because all the ZOODIACs on one card exceeds, and you still haven't used your normal summon. So it gives an unfair advantage where you can have 4 cards in hand, 3 cards on board, a +3, and your opponent starts off and they're playing, trying to keep up with you, and you have max C or hand drops to interact with your opponent or stop them from a turn. So really, ZOODIAC BARRAGE, from what was brought to my attention, should be considered to be banned. From 3 to 2, not to 1 0. This coming from me as a ZOODIAC player as well. I'd like to see that card go on the list. Another card, DRIDENT. Even with cards as Buy as a Shield and Kaiju to remove it, with the new release like HammerCon and the intricate way you can use HammerCon, where you can DRIDENT pop your opponent, change my Buy as a Shield or Chalice, but HammerCon prevents your opponent from targeting DRIDENT. having a face-up card that can literally, during either player's turn, can pop a face-up card. A card is, it dictates that you play that 3 and it's the extra deck. It should go to 0. It was either between him or BROADBULL. And me personally, I would rather hit BROADBULL before I hit DRIDENT. But majority, like I said, this video is based off what the majority of event. They feel like DRIDENT needs to go to 0. The card is just that great. It's awesome. It's a problem. Put it to 0. Can't happen. Which is funny, but yeah, there it is. Like I said, during another player's turn to pop a face-up card and also have backcourt to back it up with some strike or D-Barry, anything like that, is truly strong and impactful. So just DRIDENT's really good with an established board, and with the back row, it's even more alarming. So that wraps up the ban portion. Now I'm heading into the limit portion. For those that aren't familiar, new to the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, the limit section of the ban list are cards that you can only play one legal copy of this card in either your main, extra deck, or in your sideboard. So there's some cards that was brought to, again, popped up in the man, which was kind of funny. So instead of, again, elaborate on ZOODIAC, BROADBULL didn't go to ban, he went to 1 from a lot of players. A lot of players feel like it's a nuisance being part of the ZOODIAC family, and to be able to, him being at 3 compared to him being at 1, you're not killing ZOODIAC by having him at 1. Like a seasoned player now has to be conservative with the BROADBULL. They use the BROADBULL and they have to get it back into the extra deck and be able to use it repetitively, or if they have a Ram and you can use combos to pop the Ram, get the BROADBULL back on board, get a material under it with Tiger Mortar, and get another search off. So the majority feels like you should go through that stress with BROADBULL, but him being at 3 is a no-no. At 1, it gives ZOODIAC a chance to actually try and play, be competitive, and I just really feel like, from what for how I feel about it, it would put him on a more playing field. At one point, when the meta dictated itself, Winter Cherries was really, like a few ARGs, Winter Cherries was really a strong card to play. So again, goes to 1. Now with the new link summoning mechanic, a great card that I honestly, which was funny, that produced tokens. It was introduced that you can use tokens just like link monsters are synchro summoning, but with Link Spider and their ability to go link, it's retarded. So a card like Scapegoat being at 3 isn't bad, because the turn you activate Scapegoat, the monster cannot be tribute, you can't summon, you can't do anything like that. But a card like GOFU-THE Big Shadow needs to go to 1. This card has been around from since when Monarchs was rampant all over the place, and it even went into the metaphor portion of the format where you can spell summon GOFU, it produced 2 tokens, you summon Karaz, the Light Monarch, pop the two tokens, draw 2 cards and get to search off of the March of Monarchs. That was really stupid. That was a +2. Later on late game, it was really bad to draw. But in metaphor, this is what the card was like, really shining itself. Where opening up GOFU to give your metaphor cards the ability to pop it and set their spell cards. Also, later on, you can send it as a tuner and another non-tuner bring Ultimate Zulkin, and Ultimate Zulkin being a face-up, synchro face-up, set a card and bring out Crystal Wind Dragon. That was absurd. That was just GOFU and a metaphor. That was it. Or GOFU and a handful of metaphors, and that was the end of the board. So later on, it really promotes unbalanced play, as far as it garners a lot of advantage over your opponent. You won't be able to interact with your opponent. It's surely broken. So being able to exploit what you can do with just this one card, keeping that copy at 1 instead of 3, because if you have it at 3, you're increasing your chance of it opening up in a multiple deck of 40 cards by 30%. So GOFU should go to 1. It's fair and I mean, opening up the combo, you open up the one GOFU, you can. It's a one-off. I mean, this is a game where a lot of luck is considered in the heart of the cards, quote unquote. So that's just one card we want to mention. Coming off the ban list, we like to throw in EVILSWARM EXCITON Knight. EVILSWARM EXCITON Knight got reprinted in Battles of Legend, Light's Revenge. He's a card that's been introduced from Legacy of the Valiant. For those unfamiliar with EXCITON, EXCITON was retarded during the BRAGE format, where like he's a card that corrects a lot of, like, if you quote unquote want to give a scrub a power, well, I mean, like EXCITON your board, because to a seasonal player, a lot of players will know if you have your opponent have access to EXCITON, you know how to play around EXCITON, compared to some people just like straight up playing to EXCITON and it just, you're punished by players for it. Bringing EXCITON back would make a big impact in the game for that, because you have cards like a deck like Minerva Swarm that would exploit the hell out of that card, because it's a spam line for engine. EXCITON would really be great in a format like this, because one, it keeps your opponent in check. They know if they overextend, they'll get punished for it. And it's no longer one card, because Northern is banned. So why not bring the guy back, put him at one? No one's going to play, you won't see more than one copy. So EXCITON really would actually help the game out, keep it healthy. And also, in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh!, you need cards that are very intricate in keeping some sort of a balance, even though there'll be a power creep here and there. But cards like Maxi's at one, Northern's banned, like I said. But EXCITON should go to one. Terraforming with the circuit breaker coming out. There's one trap card, I forget the name of it, but it's a trap card that literally says you can add either a field spell card to your hand, or you can activate the field spell card. So knowing Konami, when it comes to money, they want to make money off the set. Now, right off rip, this card, the trap card, I really feel, in my opinion, is bad. I'll come right out and say it's bad, because you already have Terraforming Act 3, you gave a set rotation. How you use set rotation is really busted, even though you're gonna activate once per turn, but it's really good. This trap card, I can see it setting up for future plays, or you can add a card to your hand instead of searching out the card instead of hand dripping it. But the reason why I feel like this trap is really bad is because having the either or option of adding the field spell card or activating it. For instance, if you activate certain spell cards like Magical Meltdown, when Magical Meltdown is activated, you can add one copy of Alistair, the Invoker, to your hand. Now, if it's activated off this trap card, use the effect to activate Magical Meltdown, you don't get to search. So why would I play a card like that where I want to get at least because if you think about it, I'd rather activate the trap card, activate Magical Meltdown, get the Alistair, have the Alistair in my hand. That's already two cards on my deck automatically. So my deck is thinner, it's a deck thinner, and I can draw a card. So the high chance of me drawing another copy of any other card that I need in the deck increases. So I really see Konami might say, you know what, we're gonna put Terraforming to one just to increase revenue. So this is more like a power play. That's just to elaborate on that. This is a harsh one for me because I absolutely love the card. It's like my second favorite card of ever featured, ever made in this game. Masterpiece, the true DRACOSLAYING King. Now, for some that I were familiar a couple years ago when the Pendulum Mechanic got introduced, Quill Ports was introduced, and there was a card called Towers. That card was pro bono not friendly. It did not promote player interaction whatsoever. It literally was a one card, like, even with Sacrifice, you're talking about a monster that was 3,300 attack plus more, cannot be destroyed by battle, unaffected by practically anything with its level lower than it, because we're talking about a level 12 monster. I'm talking off my head. And during the end of a turn, it will make your opponent sack a card from their hand or from the field. Not targeted. So that card got banned. So that was even funny. Now with Masterpiece being introduced into the game, you would say he's like Tower's brother-in-law. This card is, when it's tribute, you can, with the true Draco monsters, is the archetype, you can tribute continuous trap cards or spell cards to summon this monster, to some of these monsters. Masterpiece can go monster, spell, or trap. But what makes him busted is the fact is when you tribute summon and bring him out on board, he's unaffected by practically anything. So imagine your opponent already having a face-up skill drain and you just summon Masterpiece unaffected by skill. That is retarded. Or you can tribute, or let's say you want to bottomless trap pull the guy. Your opponent tributes a trap card and a monster, you summon Masterpiece, chain bottomless. He's unaffected already. As long as this card hits the field, it is unaffected. So the only thing really stopping it is like Horn of Heaven, Solemn Warning, which I'm calling out a speed spell. When a 1 card, speed spell 1, you just speed spell 3 for it to answer to it, then this card is redundantly busted, is degenerate. The fact that also you can banish a continuous spell, a trap card from the graveyard, and pop any card on the board, it's really retarded. Like I've seen some plays where, shout out to Chris LeBlanc from Team Jobber. One play saw one of his the last ARG he won. He summoned Baba Boom. His hand was pretty mediocre. He top deck Masterpiece, summoned Masterpiece, used Masterpiece effect, popped the Baba Boom and got 2 monsters, and he had access to his Zodiac deck. So just that 1 card. Also, a lot of players believe that you put Masterpiece to 1, they wouldn't want to touch Diagram. The reason why you don't want to touch Diagram is because you still have the True King archetype. Diagram is busted, but they feel like Masterpiece should be touched. Masterpiece at 1 will keep the game level at some point. It won't kill True Kings. It won't kill True Draco. So having the 1 Masterpiece, and if he gets banished, then your opponent has to work that extra hard just to get it back. So Masterpiece at 1, you have to be really conservative to drop that card. So that's 1 card that majority feel that it should go to 1. This card, I don't know why it hasn't been touched, and it's only now I'm hearing a lot of people talk about it more now than like later. And that's Card of Demise. This card is just legitimately broken. Another like a recent memory, just like the True Draco deck. I've seen a lot of players have expressed that if they had to choose Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, what would they activate that card? Would it be a Card of Demise or Pot of Desires? And 98% said Card of Demise because that is 3 cards your opponent has to their hand. Pot of Desires, yeah, they banish 10 cards, but guess what? It's whatever. But Card of Demise gives your opponent 3 cards that they can use, just a 1 more card that can make all the difference. So this card was exploited back in the Cosmo format, like what Michael Stade last year talked on our World Championship qualifier. Like Cosmos played 3 of them. In our realization, this card's more busted than Chicken. Chicken came bad. Why is this card still here? I'm just saying. I played the card before, and it gives an unfair advantage depending on how you build your deck right, and it really discarding a card from your hand to the graveyard. If you build your deck right, trust and believe me, discarding cards to your graveyard will not. It's redundant. So that just covers up the limit portion of this list. Rundown now is the semi-limited. Again, for those that are new to the channel, semi-limited card is basically, instead of playing 1 copy, you can play 2 legal copies in your deck. This was a little bit sketchy, not as sketchy, but I got a lot of feedback about this. A lot of players from the last year and a half now has been talking about Book of Moon. A lot of players feel like Book of Moon should go to 2. It can be used offensively and defensively, and it's a really great card compared to either having compulsory evacuation advice or Book of Moon. A lot of players feel like you should have Book of Moon. It would promote more link playing because link monsters have no defense, no defensive stats. They cannot be set in defense, they can't be put set, they're just straight up monsters with attack points and their link stats. So Book of Moon being a 2 really wouldn't cripple the meta, but it really promote a lot of play. And would it become a staple? That's up to player demand. And as the meta develops and it dictates itself, you can see Book of Moon go from 1 to 2. So, and sometimes even late game, it can become a neg because if your opponent has 1 link monster and you have a Book of Moon compared to Compulse. So, this one I could agree with the player base. So, I actually like this one, like Book of Moon going to 2. Also, that should be be semi-limited. It was a card that was introduced in Breaker of the Shadow Boss. Solemn Strike. Solemn Strike is literally better than Solemn Warning. Solemn Warning is at 1. I remember when Solemn Warning was at 2 from wind-up form up until now. But ever since this card came into 3, it's been a nuisance. It'll cycle out for a little bit and it'll come right back, either be a staple or sideboard. So this card really needs to be put in check. Because when this card got introduced, there was a performer platform out where you had Cyber Dragon Infinity, you have to get a Guiding Ariande combo, and Guiding Ariande combo gets 3 copies. So, and then with the mechanic of, you don't even have to pay the cost. You basically activate this card for free. So it was really stupid. It cycled out, it came right back. Even the metaphor mechanic, this card really is retarded. And now with later on we have more counter fairy support coming out, either Circuit Breaker or further on in the future, because OCG gets their support before we do. This card being at 3 is unhealthy for the game. Being at 2 would not be bad, but 1 Solemn Warning, 2 strikes, that would actually be good. Because having 3 Solemn Strikes and having a board where you're trying to promote link summoning, Solemn Strike is a card that can answer an established board. And you can set up your opponent for the kill because, like, in some instances, not saying that it's bad or anything like that, you can chain max your opponent, change Ash Blossom or Joy Springs, and you change Solemn Strike. So, that card is really stupid. Another card that should be semi-limited is GENEX BRIGADE. This one, it's not a hit or miss. It's more like this card was hit preemptively back when Harpies were introduced, because there was a OTK with it with Ancient Fairy Dragon and an FTK pretty much, and you really want to limit that. The mechanic of what this card can do, bouncing back a monster to your hand, is supposed to summon it promotes synchro playing. It being at 1 sees no play. I can see BIRDMAN coming back. A lot of players when I first heard about it, it kind of caught me off guard. I forgot all about BIRDMAN. I don't know. A legendary player, Paul Cooper, when he played it in Swagtics, aka Heretics, he played 3 copies of it, and that was an OTK base deck. So it was like something special on the Tech Nude, activate Wing Beat, Heavy Storm opponent, special on the Tech Nude again, dual combos, and then BIRDMAN bounce back Red MB, banish Red MB, and it was just scrap like that's 2013, 2012, 2011. That's just crazy. But like I said, GENEX BRIGADE going to, it won't be broken in its entirety sense, but it'd be good for the game in the long run. The broken portion of this list is Dandelion. Now we just spoke about GOFU going to 1, but a lot of players honestly feel that they should bring back Dandelion to at least 2. And I can concur with a lot of the old plant players that played Trish and the White States Columbus era. I can understand Dandelion going to 2. So this lesson wasn't going to completely fix the game, but it was going to introduce some kind of broken mechanics in me. So Dandelion producing tokens, it going to the graveyard. I truly think it'd be necessary to keep the game around. you'll be broken, you'll be degenerate, but a little cancer doesn't hurt the game. I mean, come on. But this is just a quick disclaimer note. This is completely biased. This is just my opinion being thrown in there. If you know me, then you know this is my favorite card of all time. Dark Arm. Dark Arm is that equals game every single time. I've done this. It's been very rare occasion I've been proven wrong on this statement. This card has helped me got more than half of my premier tops. Only calling like 4, but I come from Teledad era, and when I got my first premier top, I topped with Teledad playing Dark Arm. I mean, we got 3 allures, we got 1 e-teleport, and I mean, Psalm Judgment is bad. So I mean, it's not completely broken, but come on, could not mean Dark Arm at 2 at least. So this one is just me throwing it in there. That wraps up the semi-limited part. Now we're gonna go into the limited. The unlimited part means, for those again that are new to the game, unlimited means you can play 3 copies. Max at 3. There's no limit to it. You can play. And this one, the short portion of the list wasn't as big as the other portions were. So with the new introduction of Quarter the Duel list, this will be the first set for the length form something like an old, not forgotten archetype like Light Sworns got brought back. And we have Twilight Sworns that go with them. Just this past format, we had the Grass is Greener, which was at 3, and it only lived for a format and went to 1. So to promote Light Sworns or try to produce their sales, I could concur and agree with the player base on putting Charge of the Light Brigade to 3. Making this card at 3, it would give the deck insane power and promote it. It would be strong. Even with the mechanics of zombies incorporated with Unizombie, Mizuki, and the Shiranuis, you would actually have a 60 card base deck, which is again unheard of, doing pretty well. And we're all familiar with 60 card decks like Billy Break winning YCS Dallas a few years back with 60 card Shadal, Breviate. Hold on. So I honestly feel that'd be pretty good. I actually agree with the player base when they say that having Charge at 3 is really good for the game. I have no problem with that. This one is sketchy because this card, the next part of this card, it blew my eyes when I heard a lot of people say it. Like, but again, this was based on majority demand. This is from several card shops down here in the South Florida base, also online in some group chats that I'm part of. And 90% of this player base said they would like to see Atlantean Dragoons go to 3. And that really wrapped my head around it, because Water, since being introduced back in 2014 from Abyss Rising, it really threw me off guard. You would like to see Dragoons go to 3. You know, you got some true Water players like Vic Merck himself. Shout out to Vic, our team manager. He plays Water, and he loves Water to death. But a lot of players feel like Dragoons would up the deck to have its more OTK possibility. But at the same time, there's a pro to it, there's a con to it. Yes, you have Kaiju Slumber, which can be stopped by Ash, but there's a lot of cards that intricately could stop this, because Water primarily 95% of its idea, or 98%, is to go second. Wants to kill you, wants to go ham, but a lot of players believe because of the Link Summoning mechanic, it's really good. So having the Dragoons at 3, it's the OTK possibilities are really strong, but players want overwhelming advantage over the possibility of being OTK. So I guess they want quality over quantity. So I mean, the quality being OTK compared to your opponent having 4 back row is crazy. And me personally, I wouldn't bring Dragoons back at 3. Me personally, no. But like again, I said, this was one of the cards that stood out. It was brought apart, and a lot of people wanted their opinions on it. Another card to bring back at 3 is Witch of the Black Forest. Simply reasoning, the cards that it's errated, its effect can only be used once per turn, and it can be searched out. So yeah, Konami, give me a Dark Arm Dragon search out this card. 1500 or less defense is pretty redundant. So yeah. So because of its errata, we had Brain Control, Future Fusion. That's what would be probably. This is like the one card on here I'd say 100% on the head. I got it right. Okay, kind of just going through the ban list. Off the ban list. This one really, this is the last card that really I was pretty amazed about. NEO-SPACIAN Grand Mode. Yeah. Yeah, I know some of you guys probably are a little bit shocked about saying something like this. Why Grand Mode? Out of all cards, why would this card back? Now, I found it weird because it would promote Rockstar. And, it's funny, like, Grand Mole, for some that don't know, it's an Inferno Reckless Summon target. So, I mean, one Grand Mole during Dino Rapid format was retarded, but the card has been irrelevant for so long. It only saw a smart-minded playing against Shaddoll in the Shaddoll format where you just swing against Construct boss back and you get a good on grab. But due to popular belief, because the monster zones matter that much, and with Solemn Strike and Break Kusuke could come back, a lot of players believe that Grand Mode, it's fine. It won't make that big of a difference in the meta. I don't believe it. But again, like I said, this is what a lot of players feel this card can come back, and you can have. I'd rather have the venue at 3 than have it at 1. So that's a ban list. This was a prediction or discussion video. What here Tim Relinquish wanted to share with you guys. Feel free. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Let's get as many likes as we can possible for this video. Look forward to hearing from you guys. Soon you'll be hearing some more updated news. We'll be bringing as much content as we can. We've revved it up like we said that we would. Also, if you guys need some UV stuff, also remember to hit our official sponsor, which is 2plusgaming.com. The link in the description below is also down there. If you don't get the product, also on the website, we also going to put the TCGPlayer link as well down there. We gotta say shout out to Andy J. Hogg, which is the owner of 2Plus Gaming. He's been extremely great. He's helped the team magnificently with the camera, the tripod. We've been able to get more content on the YouTube channel. We're looking to do some giveaways later on, and before the year's over, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. And we only do this. The message is we're trying to help the Yu-Gi-Oh community. We want to promote togetherness, a lot more playing. So again,